everybody. Mrs. Grass here with your daily dose of art. On the docket for today's lesson is pop-ups. Here's what you're going to need today to make your pop-up. First, paper. Okay, you can use the paper you have for your computer printer, but I recommend something harder. If you have it, crafting paper or an oak tag would be great. You could even use a manila folder, and it doesn't have to be big. Your paper can be tiny today to make your pop-up. So paper. Second is you're going to need some scissors. Okay, make sure that you're using scissors that are the right size for your hand. You don't want to use a scissor that's too big or too small. And the trick for using a scissor is you take out your lobster claw and you take the biggest part of your lobster claw and you put it in the biggest part of your scissor, and the smallest part of your lobster claw and you put it in the smallest part of your scissor, and then your lobster claw can chomp and you can cut. Cutting is a great way to build up the muscles in your hands. And like I said before, it's a great way to become a better artist, to build up those muscles. You're also going to need something to draw on your pop-up with. Crayons, markers, and colored pencils are best. I wouldn't take your watercolors out for this or paints, because once you start to get your paper wet, it's going to warp and it will affect the way that your pop-up works. And lastly, you may need some glue. Glue stick is best. And this is if you're going to start sticking your pop-ups to cards, or if you're going to be gluing them together to make some sort of book. So glue is a good handy tool today for your pop-up lesson. Once you have all those supplies ready, you can get started. Okay guys, so today I'm going to show you the basics of making a pop-up card, and you can run wild with these techniques the more that you master them. Today I'm going to show you two basic ways of making a pop-up card, and I had chickens on my mind when I thought of this guy. So this is the first one I'm going to show you. Okay, to make your bird, you're going to need a small piece of paper. Well, any size paper really, but I think that starting small is best. And you're going to fold that piece of paper in half. Okay, just like that. All right, I folded it in half. Okay, when I open it, it could be just like a card. All right. From this point on, I'm going to work on the outside before I open it up again. Okay. I'm going to grab my scissor and I'm going to put a slit in this card on the folded side. I don't want to cut on the open side. I want to cut on the folded side of my paper so that this pop-up will work. And I'm going to cut a little slit in it. Depending on how big or small your slit is going to depend on how big or small your bird's mouth will become. Okay? So I've made a slit this size. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to take one side of this cut and I'm going to fold it over so that I have a triangle shape. And then I'm going to do the same to the other side. I'm going to fold it over. Okay. Now I have two triangles there. But now I'm going to flip my card over and pull these back, and I'm going to fold them in the other direction. That's going to help ensure that that fold is nice and strong. This is something we do often in origami, folding and refolding. Okay, so I have my folds right by my slit. Now I can open up my card and I can pop the bottom open and then the top open, and then I can fold my card in half. And you'll see once you've folded, you're going to have this sort of bite taken out of it. That's where the mouth is. There we go, my beak. It's hiding inside my card. And now I can have a lot of fun with this. I can decide to leave it in folded card form and decorate it however I'd like. You know, give it some eyes. I can design it however I'd like. I can give it feathers. I can invent a totally new kind of bird or creature or monster. Actually, you know what? That would be so cool to turn it into some kind of invented monster. You could even make that an entry for this year's Young Illustrators Challenge, which is monster themed this year. But there you go. You can decorate this however you want. You can see that I decided to decorate mine like a bird and give it some feathers, some eyes. I colored the beak in orange. My piece of paper was blue, so my bird looks bluish. But I really could turn it into any kind of bird I want. Now, I cut mine by folding it in half and then just cutting a shape around this triangle cutout. And then when I opened it, my bird had a different kind of shape than a card shape. You can decide to leave it a square if you want. And if you wanted to turn it into a card, that's when you'd get a second piece of paper and your glue. And you would fold it in half, just like that. And you'd stick it inside so that the mouth wasn't seen from the outside of the card, just the inside. And I could glue those together. Ta-da! Okay, guys, so here's the second pop-up tip and technique I'm going to share with you today. And that's a folded technique, like a geometric shape here, like a square. Okay, so I'm looking at this card from the side, but from the front, you could see those legs popped up. And my good friend Mr. Grass decorated this one to look like a little insect. Let's see what it looks like from the other side. Look at that. It's like fringe. And here's an idea for a second one. This looks like buildings, and we've got Batman up there. Okay, so let me show you this little trick here. Let's get started. Okay, so to do this square version of a pop-up card, you're going to do the same thing as we did before. You're going to start with your flat piece of paper and fold it in half. Okay, best you can. No one's perfect. And once you have it folded in half, you're going to get your scissor out. Okay, and you're going to make a couple of slits this time. Before, for the chicken beak, we just did one cut. For this one, we're going to make a couple of cuts. So I'll show you the easiest way first is to cut two cuts that are the same length. Okay, for the beak, however big you made it was how big the mouth would turn out to be. For this one, it's going to determine how big those squares are, but if you cut too much, your square could stick out of your card like this. So try not to cut it too long, okay? So I have it cut, and we're going to do the same thing that we did for the beak, and that is we're going to fold it once in one direction, and then we're going to flip it over and fold it again in a different direction. So we're ensuring that that fold is folded for sure. And then we can open up the card and we can pop out our cut so that it's popped up there. Okay. So again, I can glue this into a card if I wanted to, so that I didn't see the cut and it was a surprise when I came out. Or I could start building a whole city or a bunch of creatures and leave it loose. I could cut around the outside again if I wanted to. I can cut any shape I like. Okay, and then your card would take on that shape. You could even draw something on a separate piece of paper, like a heart, or a flower, or a creature, and you can cut out that shape and you can glue it to your pop-up. So I could take this and give a little bit of glue on the back of this and stick it here, and when I open and close, my heart would pop up. See that? So those are the two techniques that I wanted to share with you today. I'm so excited to see what you guys decide to do with these techniques. Don't forget to share them. Okay guys, I wanted to show you one more thing with that second technique I showed you. I cut out one square shape, but this ladybug that Mr. Grass made, I wanna cut that up and show you how we did that. So we fold it in half. That's how we start both techniques, okay? And then he did a couple of slits, all sort of evenly spaced across the edge of the paper. So it's like fringe, like this. See that? There's fringe there. And then every other one he folded back and forth. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take one, skip over, okay, and then, ooh, one at the end here I could do. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip it and fold those back. Remember, we're reinforcing that fold so that when we pop our card open, the paper is gonna do what we want it to do. Okay. And now I can open up my card, and the ones that I folded, I can pop forward, just like that. So every other one would get popped up, like that. And then it'll be able to close, and you're gonna see when the card is closed, it's gonna have every other space is open, but that's because every other space is popping out on the inside of the card. And if you made this into a pop-up card and glued it inside of another piece of paper, it would look something like this. So cool, right? All right. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me today for your daily dose of art. I hope you're enjoying your art ventures at home and that everybody is feeling safe and healthy. I look forward to seeing what you do with these two simple pop-up techniques. Don't forget to share them with us on social media. Facebook, we're Gallery North. On Instagram, @GalleryNorthLI. And if you want to rewatch these videos or share them with anybody you know and love, you can do that from our website at gallerynorth.org or from our YouTube channel called Gallery North. Until tomorrow for your next daily dose of art, bye. Hey everybody, did you know that the studio at Gallery North is an earth-friendly studio space? It means we think about Mother Nature for many of the programs we offer and the lessons we teach. And in an effort to continue teaching our community how to be earth-friendly when creating, we're going to offer some lessons in the next few weeks using some recycled materials. So, I want to make sure that you're collecting some things while you're at home. First, those toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls, hold on to them. We're going to use them for an upcoming project. As well as your tissue boxes of any shape and size. They're great for projects, but we have something special coming up. So hold on to your tissue boxes. And lastly, let's not forget one of our favorite things to use here in the studio, cardboard. We use it for prototype building, cardboard building. We love making here in the studio, especially with kiddos, and cardboard is so wonderful for doing that. So hold on to that cardboard for some upcoming projects.